For what feels like forever, the story of electric cars was really the story of just one company. But then 2025 happened, and bam, the whole script got flipped. We have a new king, and believe me, the entire industry is paying attention. Okay, let me just ask you this straight up. When I say number one EV seller in the world, what's the first name that pops into your head? Yeah, for years, that answer was a total no-brainer, right? I mean, one name basically was the EV market. They didn't just lead it, they pretty much created it. Well, that all changed in 2025. That easy answer? It's not the answer anymore. For the first time ever, the undisputed champ got knocked off the top spot. All right, so let's get into it. How did this massive shift actually happen? We're going to look at the hard numbers, because honestly, the data from 2025 tells this incredible story of a huge shakeup in the EV world. And here it is, the final scorecard for 2025. You've got China's BYD selling a whopping 2.26 million all-electric cars. And then you have Tesla with about 1.64 million. So yeah, this was not a close race. We're talking a difference of over 600,000 vehicles. BYD didn't just win, they ran away with the crown. And get this, BYD didn't just squeak by. They had this incredible surge, a 28% jump in sales from the year before. That's not just growing, that's like hitting the accelerator and leaving everyone in the dust. Just explosive momentum. But on the flip side, you've got Tesla. Their deliveries actually went down by about 8%. And this was the second year in a row that their sales dropped. It's pretty stark, right? You've got two giants heading in completely opposite directions. So the big question is, how on earth did this happen? I mean, how did a company that some rivals literally laughed at just a few years ago climb all the way to the top? Let's dig into BYD's playbook, because it's pretty fascinating. Okay, so the secret sauce for BYD wasn't just one ingredient. It was like a full-on, multi-pronged attack. First, they have a car for pretty much everyone, from super affordable to high-end luxury. Second, they're what's called vertically integrated. That's a fancy way of saying they make their own stuff, like their own batteries, which gives them huge control over their costs. And finally, they've been going global and doing it fast. And when I say diversity, I mean it's wild. You've got their little Seagull model, which is super affordable and gets tons of new people into EVs. And then, at the other end of the spectrum, you have something insane like the Yangwang U8. It's a luxury SUV that can, and I'm not kidding, literally float. They are playing in every part of the field. And that global push, it's working. Big time. By 2025, the UK was already their biggest market outside of China. They're making huge moves in Europe, Latin America, Southeast Asia, you name it. They're even building a factory right in the heart of Europe, in Hungary, which is supposed to fire up in 2026. Okay, so that's the BYD side of the story. Now, let's flip the coin. While all this was happening, Tesla was dealing with some serious headwinds of its own. Sometimes you have to look behind the big sales numbers to see what's really going on. And here's a crazy example. Tesla had this massive battery supply deal worth almost $3 billion. Well, it got cut down to practically nothing. A lot of people watching the industry saw that and thought, aha, they must be having a really tough time getting their new 4680 batteries ramped up, and those batteries are a huge piece of their future plans. And it wasn't just one thing either. It was kind of like a perfect storm hitting them all at once. You had the falling sales we mentioned. The first wave of die-hard fans had already bought their cars. Competition, especially from China, was getting intense. Governments started cutting back on those nice EV subsidies. And honestly, the Cybertruck just wasn't selling as much as people hoped, probably because of that high price tag. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, you're really seeing a tale of two totally different strategies, two completely different ideas about how to win the EV race. I mean, just look at how they stack up. BYD's game is all about volume and variety. Dozens of models, something for everyone. Tesla's is more focused, premium, with just a handful of models. BYD makes its own batteries and chips, which helps keep costs down. Tesla has these amazing high-tech factories, but still relies on outside suppliers. And geographically, BYD is on a global blitz, while Tesla is defending its strongholds. In 2025, it was pretty clear. BYD's go big and go wide strategy paid off. Okay, so BYD took the trophy for 2025 sales. Case closed, right? Well, not exactly. This whole race is far from over. Actually, I think it's just shifting into a new gear, where we're going to be keeping score in a totally different way. So that brings us to the million-dollar question. Just because they lost the sales crown, is it game over for Tesla's dominance? I wouldn't be so sure. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's talk tech. There's this huge test in China of all the different driver assistance systems, and Tesla just blew everyone away. They passed 5 out of the 6 tests, way ahead of competitors like BYD. And the craziest part? A lot of those other cars use fancy, expensive LiDAR systems, the laser-based radar. Tesla did it all with just cameras. That's a huge deal. It's a simpler and potentially much more scalable approach. So these systems, they're called ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. Think of them as the stepping stones to full-on self-driving cars. And if you're good at this, it's a massive sign that you might have the lead in the next big race, the race to autonomy. And on that racetrack, it really looks like Tesla is still way out in front. And that's exactly where Tesla is placing its bets for the future. You look at their product roadmap, and it's not just about selling more cars to people. It's about a whole new kind of transportation. They're talking about the Cybercab, a dedicated robotaxi, starting production in 2026. Then the new semi-truck, the insane next-gen roadster, and even a robo-van down the line. For all of these, self-driving isn't a feature, it's the entire point. So, this is what it all comes down to, right? What's the final lap of this race really about? Is the ultimate winner the company that sells the most cars? Or is it the one that cracks the code on the technology that lets the cars drive themselves? BYD absolutely won the battle of 2025. But the war for the entire future of how we get around, that's just getting started.